Hello, RC Rent Carcass. I'm back for part 2 of my technology. This one's going to be on effects, facilities, and incomes. Part 1 was all about special units you can purchase, and this one's going to be all about the special abilities and bases you can purchase. So, yeah, I'm just going to leave it at that for an introduction, and we're going to go right into well, we've done the first 6, which were units. Now we're going to do the second 7, starting with Tech 6, long-range aircraft. All this is when you get this, every aircraft has its own rules on everything it can do, right? Airbase +1, fighters go so far, jets go so far, strategic bombers go so far, heavy strategics, tactical, all that stuff. All that happens is you get +1 increase to range for in movement for all units, and all strategic bombers go up +2, right? So a fighter from 4 to 6, from 4 to 5, if it's at an airbase, +1 again for 6, right? Strategic bombers 6, +2 with this. If it's at an airbase, it's 9, right? And the only other thing is medium bombers, when they get placed on combat air patrol, get a +1 for the patrol range. So instead of a range of 1, they get a range of 2. Kind of like what a seaplane has. So handy for anybody, doesn't matter who you are. If you have even one plane in the air, it's nice to be able to move at 1 extra space. And that is about all I can really say about this, and really anybody who's got any aircraft at all, especially somebody who's going to be doing some attacks across water to an island or another continent, like across the Med or in the Pacific or across the English Channel or in the Atlantic, you might find this very handy. All right, so that's the first of 7 techs. I'm going to jump around a little bit here, but yeah, let's do this. Advanced anti-submarine warfare. This tech is, oh, here, let's just crank this up a little bit here so you can see it. Not that it really matters. It's on page 32, version 1.2 rules. A bunch of improvements, blah, blah, blah. Escorting ships gain +1 to their opposing convoy rating roll. So regular escorts get a +1 against if they're on the same line as the convoy raider for each ship. Now with advanced anti-submarine warfare, they're +1 additionally. So if they're already at +1, they're now at +2. Convoy lines, which are the dotted lines in the sea with numbers on them describing how much money you can lose, automatically defend against each raiding submarine even without escorts on a 1 or a 2. And all transports defend at 1, causing any hit to an attacking submarine. So hits only on subs is what I'm reading out of this. If you got something different, let me know. But yeah, the convoy line can shoot back at the sub at a 1 or a 2, regardless of whether there's an escort there or not. Escorts are +1 in their defensive convoy raids. That's on the income loss. And all transports defend at 1 against subs. Only against subs. The hits have to be on a sub. So if there's no sub there, it can't hit any of the other units. All right, let's do radar next. So we're going to do advanced radar. I'm just doing radar because we're going to do radar, and then we're going to do strategic rockets, and I'm going to show you in the same piece of map here where they both work. So advanced radar, it's obviously it's radar. It allows you to build a unit facility. I use these little chips I got from Historical Board Gaming. You can use anything, a chiclet, I don't know, you got a bunch of red nerds candies or little plastic red tags or whatever you want to do. It doesn't matter, but I bought these ones from Historical Board Gaming since they say radar, and I threw them in with another order, and they were fairly cheap. So I only got a pack of 5, and I've never needed all 5 of them yet, but I've never had everybody buy radar at the same time, so you never know. Radar also allows nations to build land-based radar facilities, and using a radar marker. A marker is placed in a land zone or on the border of a sea zone. If the markers on the border of a sea zone allows unlimited aircraft scramble into the adjacent sea zone. So instead of the maximum of 3 planes, you can scramble every plane that's in that zone, all the way up to 300 if that's how many planes you got. Unrealistic, but you know, you can. And as such a marker in a land zone adds +1 to the interception value of fighters. So if somebody's flying in to attack you, and there's those numbers and brackets I showed on the fighters and jets and whatever, that's their interception value when they're flying up to attack the bombers before they drop their bombs. They get +1 for their rolls, basically. So, all right. Now let's go on to strategic rockets, and I'll explain those. Oh, a Raider costs 5 to build, max damage of 5, and it takes 1 turn to build. So that's it. That's all you really need to know. 5 cost, 5 damage, and 1 turn. Now let's move on to the strategic rockets. All right. Same deal. It's a rocket base. It costs 8 to build a rocket base. Max damage of 8. And it's destroyed at max damage. Right? It's got built-in AA. And it takes 1 turn to build. So if somebody comes to carpet bomb or to a strategic bomb this, the facility gets to shoot back just like any other facility. You can use this rocket base thing I picked up from Historical Board Gaming. It's just, I believe, the same one they took the picture of. I got mine in green. They may sell it in different colors. Or you can use something like this. It's a nice little rocket looking thing. I think it comes from a nuclear pack or something, or whatever. I got these off General Hand Grenade. He had something else he was using. So, or he had a whole pile of them, I'm not sure. But I use these for my strategic rocket bases, or you can use something like this, or a chiclet, or whatever, like I was saying. Alright, so the strategic rocket is a rocket. You need the tech first, of course, and you may purchase the rocket facilities for $8. Takes 1 turn to build, max damage of 8, and when it's at max damage, it's destroyed, so you'd have to build a new one. You're only allowed to build 1 per land zone, and it must be in a supply path. Well, surprise, everything has to be in a supply path to build, so no big deal there. If it's damaged at all, it can't work, just like any other facility, right? If you damage a Navy base, it doesn't give anybody a bonus. You can't place ships there, right? Same thing with an air base. No movement bonus. Only 1 such facility may be built per land zone. It can fire 1 rocket per turn with a range of 2. They may not be captured. It does 1d6 strategic damage to a facility and cannot be intercepted or shot down. A strategic rocket may do a carpet bombing roll against a group of units by rolling 1 dice at 2. So basically what this is, it's just like the heavy bomber or a regular strategic bomber, but it's got a lower rating, but you can't intercept it. So if it fires at something, it's going to hit regardless, right? I mean, the carpet bomb, if it's not a 1 or a 2, it's going to miss. Got that, so they dropped it in the wrong spot. But the strategic, you're rolling 1d6. You're guaranteed to get a 1 or a 6. Or anywhere in between, right? So it's going to do damage, and you cannot stop it from hitting. Alright, I'm going to move over here a little bit, and we're going to show you the English channel. Let's zoom this out just a touch. Alright, so, I was talking about convoy lines. There's a couple options right there, right? Dotted line, and it's got a number. It doesn't have a number. You can't take any more than the number. So there you go. That's for the convoys. Now, strategic rockets. The 2 best countries I found for strategic rockets were Germany and Britain. And I'm about to show you why. It's better for Germany as a potential, but if Britain has it, They both have it. It's better for Germany, but it's a pain in the butt. But I'm just going to place a bunch of these rockets across the English Channel and show the locations where they can shoot back at each other. So every place you're going to put a rocket can shoot every other place that has a rocket. London, Liverpool, Netherlands, Belgium, Normandy, and Picardia. So there you go. So the Germans have 4 locations that can shoot across the English Channel for 1 and land 2 in Liverpool. Notice where the sea zone and the land zones are made, not at the same spot, or to London. So they can launch all 4 of these in a carpet bomb. So you could 4 shots at 2 if you had 4 of them against these units. No guarantee they're going to hit anything, but that's better than 1 strategic, and you can't shoot it down, right? Or they can do it against Liverpool here if they wanted to eliminate all the units. So they can actually use these rockets to soften this place up before they do a sea line attack or an amphibious assault on England. Or they can use those same 4 shots and they could shoot this naval base on the English Channel, this air base, this factory, and that shipyard over there. Any damage at all on these shipyards and air bases and they don't work. So you got to pay money to fix those first before you can get your movement bonus or place your units. They can also reach these ones in Liverpool, so the air base and the shipyard, right? Or the major factory or the minor factory that's in Liverpool and London again, right? That can be potentially problematic. Like everything, you got to pay off the damage before you could, or they can shoot and damage the rocket bases too, I guess, right? So there you go. That's what Germany can do. Now, the British can do the same thing. They can damage the naval base in the Netherlands, naval base in Belgium, the shipyard in Normandy, or they can hit the strategic rockets, or they can carpet bomb 2 shots from here at the troops that are in any of these places. So they could start just launch random shots and just start picking off guys that are in the Atlantic Wall, right? It's not a bad way to soften them up. It's basically like doing a shore bombardment with cruisers. Only you can do it every turn, and you don't have to throw away a guy by having them land on the shore and get annihilated. So there's some options on strategic rockets. Better for Germany, true, but they're also good for the British, especially if Germany doesn't have them. It's annoying. And you start eliminating facilities, and then if they want to use them, they have to pay money to repair them. And that works both ways. You can take out their production, you can take out this production, you can destroy their rocket bases across the way, you can take out their use of the facilities, right? Evil. And kind of funny. So, those are your options. So, and none of these shots can be intercepted, so they guarantee hit. All right. There we go. That's advanced radar and strategic rockets. So, like I was showing, advanced radar, if you put this, say you have this advanced radar and you put it on the coast, and you say it's on the coast, you could have 100 planes in here, and if there's a sea battle or anything going on where you say you want to scramble into the English Channel, you can launch all 100 planes. If you don't have this, you can launch 3 from the airbase. Or, if you keep getting strategic bombed, you just throw this in the middle of the land zone, like say Liverpool, for example, and any fighters you have up here that fly up to intercept the strategic bombers that are coming down to hit this factory and your other facilities, get a +1 to attack those planes that are coming in to bomb you. Alright, so I'm just going to peel these off here, and we're going to move on to the next tech. What do I got for the next techs here? I think the last 3 are my personal favorites for anybody. Nobody can go wrong with these, especially. All right, let's get this zoomed in a little bit better here for you. Wartime economy. Everybody could use that. What this is, the worst income you can get when you get that is you do an extra roll at the end of your turn. That's the worst you can get is $2. And at the end of your turn, you decide to do another roll. The best you can get is $12. So think of it. You're Italy. You're making $10. You have wartime economy. You do your wartime economy roll. The worst case scenario is you're going to have $12 instead of 10, and the best case scenario is you're going to have $22 instead of 10. That's just Italy. Germany could use an extra $2 to $12. The U.S. could. Britain, Japan, anybody. So wartime economy. It works for anybody. France could really use that, especially when it has no capital. That'd be kind of handy. Maybe they could actually build a naval base and a factory to start building stuff out of, right? Improved factories. All major factories now produce. Improved factories. Basically, what it does, a major factory produces half of its units extra, right? And a minor produces half of its units extra. So if you have like a major normally produces 5, half of 5 is 2.5, right? Rounded up to the nearest number. All fractions are rounded to the nearest number up in this game. So 5 plus 3 is 8. Can make 8 units. Minor factory makes 1. Half of 1 is half, right? Rounded up to 1. So that's 2 total, right? So it can make 2. Let's say you do what I do and you may use medium factories, right? I use a medium factory that fits right in between these and it builds 3 on average. So it's half of 3, 1.5, right? 1.5 rounded up is 2, 3 plus 2 is 5, right? So you're producing 2, 5, and 8 instead of 1, 3, and 5. Handy for anybody who has a lot of money and not a lot of facilities, or who has less facilities on the front and they don't want to be using transports that take 2 or 3 turns to shuck and then move across the land to get to somebody. Germany finds this handy in Russia. Russia finds this handy in Germany if they happen to own some factories. So would the US if they owned a factory across the ocean on either side. Handy. So improved factories, good for anybody who's got some need to build a lot of stuff in one spot and not too many factories. Wartime economy, good for everybody, anytime, all the time. Improved shipyards. This one, all ships cost $2 less. Submarines cost $1 less. So submarines are only a -1 in cost, but every other ship is -2. So transports, battleships, whatever, it doesn't matter. The saving occurs whether or not the final placement of the ship occurs at a shipyard or not. The cost of multi-stage ship production is deducted from the first turn of construction. A captured shipyard from a nation with improved shipyards gives no benefit to the captor. So you can't capture a guy's facility and get the bonus that they have from tech, right? You got to research the tech yourself. You can't steal tech in this game as of yet. Well, I'm considering a house rule with that, but I haven't figured it out and played it enough to find out if it'll work or not. So I'm not even going to bring that up, except for I already did. So this is pretty basic. You're building a transport. Let's say the transports cost $8. Save $2 on the first purchase turn of the unit. So your $8 transport now costs $6. You're buying a sub for $6. Take off $1. Now your $6 sub costs you $5, right? It doesn't matter if you place the unit or not. So you could start, let's say, I know if you're Britain and your cruisers, there are 3, 4, and 4. So the first turn is $3, the second turn is 4, and the third turn is 4, right? So if you're Great Britain and you want to build some cruisers, they're -$2 for the first turn you place them on the build chart. So if you had, say, $5 sitting around and you weren't sure what to do with it, you could start 5 cruisers and put them on the board so that the first move is done. Now after that turn, you're going to have to spend $4 a piece on each of those cruisers, but you don't have to move them all forward. You can move one, or none, or all of them, or any variation for the stage 2, right? That, or the second stage. Then you have the last, when you got them there, it's $4 a ship. Put them on the board wherever you want, whenever you want. So it's up to you. Good for anybody with any kind of serious naval aspirations. If you're going to be doing a lot of convoy raids as the Germans, this would be a handy thing to have. Also puts a little bit of pressure on the British because they think, well, you can build cheaper stuff, so you might be building more transports in a hurry. They're not sure, so they may, turtle a little harder. Japan, excellent thing for them. Great Britain, excellent thing for them. US, excellent thing. Italy, this would be an excellent thing as well. Kind of expensive for them to be building Navy. This will save money on that. Yeah. Actually, pretty much good for everybody. Not so good for France. Not so good for Germany, really. But Italy... Yeah, anybody who wants to do any naval work, that's a handy thing to have. Excellent. And there we go. Oh man, I already went 21 minutes. Yeah, that's about as much as I got. That's the 13 Tech, what I like to use and where and when and why. You guys have any house rules on how you use your tech? Like always, you got a house rules and you want to share them, I am more than willing to consider them. You want to look at the units, check out part 1 of this video. And I'm going to shut down this part 2 of my tech, the facilities and extra bonus abilities or whatever you want to call it for all nations. And we're going to leave it there. And RC, see you later. Bye.